with your first fight, you were dominant, and it's been a while, like you said, since that fight. Does any doubt come into your mind at all?
I think there's always a little bit in the back of your mind. I think there's always that, am I doing enough? Am I working hard enough? Am I doing what I need to be doing? And part of that is having, a coach that looks at you and says, like, dude, he's not doing this. He's not working this hard. He's not doing what you're doing. And then I also try to take it a step further and say, like, it'd be really nice to work out in a pair of shorts and a sleeveless shirt, but I do, like, when I work out, when I lift, I lift in a sweatsuit. I take the James Harrison route, full sweatsuit and usually a beanie hat. When I go there in a couple minutes, I'm gonna
clanging and banging.
Like I'm gonna have a sweatshirt on when I'm doing these rounds. And like yesterday we were doing, I think we did 14 rounds yesterday, and it's a 3-minute round with about 45 seconds in between time, which in the fight it's a minute, so that minute feels like an eternity, when 45 seconds right now feels like, damn, we're going already.
Yeah.
And of the 14 rounds, we're only supposed to do 12, which is what we did the other day. And so we had 4 stations set up, one station with my coach, working pads, working drills, and the occasional cardio round, which is a fucking bear. And then you go to a bag and you're working a hand combination to a low kick, then another bag hand combination to a body kick, and then another bag where you're just throwing hands. And we roll through that 3 times with the 4 of us that were there. And when you look at it, you're like, okay, that's a pretty good workout. And then we got to a point where me and another guy who was fighting on the card with me, Ja, he looks and I looked, our coach Scott was like, hey, wait, we only got 2 more rounds, this one and the next one. And I'm like, fuck it, like, let's make it 13. And then my boy was like, fuck it, make it 14. So we ended up doing 14 rounds. And I started with Scott, and I went around, and then I went around again. And after my 3rd round with Scott, I took my sweatshirt off because I was dying. Like I was literally roasting, and I'm just like, I need to, but my whole view here is to make this a lot harder than the actual fight's going to be. I'm not going to
put the work in.
Yeah, put the work in. Put your aggression out.
I'm not going to be smothered in a sweatshirt that's just cooking me from the inside out.
You got to feel light and free. I mean, your aggression's is going to be through the roof.
Yeah, and it's just making it harder and harder and harder on myself. But come 2 weeks from today, it's going to be go time, and it's I put the thing on Facebook the other day, like, preparing for nothing short of war.
How do you keep yourself under control? I mean, we like we've talked here and there and about about being antsy and everything like that. But
pace yourself.
I mean, just like, how do you keep yourself under control this close to the fight?
It's just something that every once in a while you sit there and you're thinking about it. Like I was driving here and I was thinking about it, and all of a sudden I just got that well up in my chest, that anxious, like, shit, dude, it's almost fight week.
Yep.
Like I'm gonna go hard as I possibly can this week, and then I'm gonna. When I come back, it's going to be, after this week, like, I got to work a couple days during the week, and then I got to work the weekend. Yeah. And then, I have something set up with my swap partner where I'm going to work like Wednesday and Thursday, and then be off the weekend again. And when I say I just said, like, oh, I'm off the weekend. I'm like, yeah, I'm off the weekend because it's fucking fight weekend. Like, it's time to get in the cage, time to get it to work. And I just got that, like, oh shit, it's here. Going on. And it's this next couple of weeks are going to be the most interesting part, because it's what you've been working for, it's what you've been busting your ass for, it's what all the blood is for, all the sweat is for, and all the, I really want to go and eat a pizza and eat some chicken wings, or I want to come to the transit and demolish some tots or whatever. And
the bacon, wings, and tots after the fight.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
It's just one of those things that, like,
I'll order a pizza too.
It's just one of those things where, like, this is what it's been for, and, like, oh shit, it's almost here. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here talking about it, like, I'm getting like more upright.
He's chopping at the bit right now, man.
And it's like, it's exciting, it's nerve wracking.
Here's the question for you too: is again, I boxed years ago, preparing for that fight. When you finally get in that ring, how do you control yourself? How do you, because a lot of people don't understand that feeling inside of, like, yeah, it's here, this is on. How do you pace yourself and control yourself
tough,
to make sure
it's not easy,
that you don't overdo it, or you don't
overextend yourself,
or show your get, you know what I mean? Show
one of the biggest things that a lot of guys deal with is that the crash after the initial adrenaline rush.
Right.
Yes.
You know, like especially like, I mean, we've talked a few times now about how like the build up to walking to the cage and getting checked by the ref and the, you know,
it's just all built
everything.
up,
And then like you're standing there and like you're just staring at this dude and you're like, let me go. Like, I'm ready. Let me go. Like, ring the damn bell. Let's do this thing. And this announcer is just talking and talking and talking. And it feels like forever. Like, and you're standing there and you're like, dude, shut up.
Just hope he doesn't have as many names as Apollo Creed. He'll be there forever.
You know,
Or the Bleeding Gums Murphy national anthem.
But yeah, I mean, that aggression when you're standing there and you're ready to go and then the bell rings and you kind of like pace it.
Yeah, you have
it's
to
a dance.
come out.
It really is a dance.
You know, a lot of guys, especially early on in their first one, they go through that like, oh my God, bang, 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 and then about 45 seconds to a minute, and all of a sudden you see them kind of go, oh fuck,
Catching the breath, yeah.
and they're like, oh my God, I still have, you know, when's that 10-second gonna hit? Like, when am I gonna get that warning that it's almost over in the first round? Like, and it feels like forever when you're in there, and then, you know, like I go back and I watch, you know, I watch the footage from my first one, and I'm like, holy shit, this was not long.
Yeah.
But it, like, when you're in there, it felt like it was forever.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. It's a different experience all the way around. I mean, it's nothing you can prepare for. Well,
I think, you know, I think one of the things that's helped me through this, and like helped me in the first one, I hope, you know, again, knock on wood, I hope it helps me this time around. I've been fighting my whole life. You know, I started martial arts when I was a kid. You know, I've sparred more in, you know, 30 years than most people do in a lifetime. You know, because just, you know, getting to an advanced stage at a young age, you know, me and then being a bigger kid on top of it, me and my teacher could bang with each other a little bit more at it, you know, younger and younger and younger. You don't see many 13-year-olds standing almost 6 foot and going toe to toe with their teacher because they're both black belts and they can just go and bang and kind of, you know, have some fun. They walk out a little couple bumps, couple bruises, and just laughing about it. You know, and then, I mean, we've talked a lot too. You know, when I was younger, I was picked on a little bit. You know, I was a big boy. And, you know, I had some pretty choice nicknames that I wasn't a fan of, and eventually I hit a point about fifth and sixth grade. I stopped taking it. I started fighting back, and I grew up fighting. You know, I grew up getting punched in the face by people. You know, because I was always, you're bigger than everybody. You should know better. Like, I'm still fucking 10.
Yep.
Like, you know, but because I'm bigger, if somebody walks by and jacks me in the face, I just got to sit there and take it, because if I stand up and body slam that kid, the big kid's the asshole. Yeah. So, you know, when you take that growing up and everything else, you know, I got to a point, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in 8th grade. I walked out of an English class, kid jacked me right in the face. Just,
I would have buried him.
There was a small verbal thing I thought nothing of, like, oh, dude, Josh, you gonna fight this kid? Like, yeah, whatever. And the kid like, oh, just touch me, just touch me. I'm a smart ass, so I fucking poked him in the chest and he punched me in the face. It was literally like, I did that. Some theatrics to it, you know, brush my finger off, like whatever. And he just punched me in the face, and I buried him. Yep. Absolutely buried him. They had to shut down a hallway in my middle school for like 3 periods to clean the blood off the floor in the lockers. Yeah. It didn't help. He had braces. Didn't really help matters.
Well, you would have needed him after anyway.
Yeah. Well, April 28th? Is
28th.
it April 28th?
April 28th. For the FCP Super Heavyweight title. They're, you know, giving me the opportunity for the strap.
You're bringing that belt on the show.
Got to win it first.
Got to win it first.
Yeah, win it first. I refuse to be the guy that looks past it. I refuse to be the guy that's planning the celebration for a fight that you know, because you may not win, no matter how good you are. You know, Buster Douglas.
Always something.
Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson.
Right. What was it? Rockman. You know, the point to the chin heard around the world.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm going into this like the underdog. I'm going into this like the guy that nobody expects to win it. I'm going into this like the guy that's not expected to walk out with anything. And I'm, you know, my planner right now stops the 28th at 6 o'clock when the fight starts.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
You know, and then like until my name gets called to go out and walk down that, like that's the last thing I have planned. Till like the 28th. That's the last thing I have planned on my planner, because I'm not planning anything after that, because I don't know, win, lose, or draw. I'm not planning for defeat, but I'm not planning to walk around and celebrate yet, because it ain't over.
Yeah, true story.
Well, best of luck.
Good luck.
Of course. We're all It's,
That was weird. What was that noise?
Hey, all I know is I cannot wait for someone to get these goddamn hands.
Man. That's a wrap.
hold on, a group wonderful real quick. Ready?
Wonderful.
Yes.